Every year, lakhs of students registered for UPSC CSC examination. But reality is only thousands or very few are serious about it. And that's why very few cross the prelims and hardly thousands get their name in the final list. And this is one of the reality. The second reality is most of the deserving students do not even think about UPSC CSC examination because of the lengthy syllabus, bulky books, and tedious process of consolidating current affairs, test series, mock test, and long and tiring process of examination which almost takes 1 year. Starting from prelims to interview, it is roughly 1 year time period. So, most of the deserving students give up at the initial stage. Now, we have these two different realities. As per my opinion, if you are deserving, if you have normal sound mind, not extraordinary, and if you follow a science-backed strategy, then you can crack this examination easily. Hello, I am Manish Kumar, Director and Faculty of Geography and Environment at Maharaja Agrasen UPSC Academy. And here I am going to discuss 18-month strategy for UPSC CSC preparation. This strategy is based on proven results and real strategy. This has been followed by my students who have cracked UPSC CSC as well as other civil service examinations. So let's discuss that strategy which will obviously help you in achieving your dream if you stick to this. So let's start with that. The topic of this presentation or this session is beginner to ranker blueprint. Why I have chosen this topic? Because I assume that the students who are watching this video are just beginners. So I will be starting from zero, what to do, what not to do, etc. And then I will guide you to the level of UPSC where you will find it's comfortable to crack all stages and get your name in the list. So let's start with that. It's an 18-month strategy and it will cover both prelims as well as mains. I have divided the whole 18-month time in 5 phases. Phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, phase 4 and phase 5. This phase 1 is about foundation building, means we will be starting from zero. Phase 2nd is we will be upgrading ourselves with some advanced sources, and parallelly we will be introducing ourselves with the optional subject, or we will be introducing optional subject to ourselves, vice versa. Phase 3 is real preparation for takeoff, or you can say preparation for takeoff stage, means you need to put everything at this stage to make yourself ready for the real test. Phase 4 is prelims focused study, means it is the takeoff stage where you have to crack prelims by your preparation. and phase 5 is the mains focus study, which is again take off stage for mains examination. Now, let's discuss the first phase in detail. Here, the first phase is basically targeted toward, or you can say the goal of the first phase is just concept building. Concept building means you have to go through the basics, you have to clarify the concept, and you have to understand different subjects and the basics of different subjects, not advance. And for that, you need to go through NCERTs. NCERTs are the government books or government sources. So these books are best resource for any examination conducted by government agencies. Okay. Now, of which class we need to study? So my recommendation would be start from 6. If you have means wiped out everything you read during your school time, then you need to start from 6th. And if you remember something, like if you remember you know something about geography, so you need to study 11th and 12th NCERT. And if you have completely wiped out geography, then you need to start from 6th, and similarly for other subjects also. So go through the NCERTs of history, geography, polity, economic, environment, and basic science books. Obviously, direct questions are very few, but obviously that concept will help you in understanding science and technology. At the same time, you have to make notes of some concepts which are there in NCERTs. This will have two advantages. First, you will have clarity of concept while writing, because writing involves thinking as well as presentation. So during that process, your concept clarity is more. Just reading is not enough to be clear about any concept. During writing, you carefully choose words, you carefully present things. So during that process, concept clarity is better. That's why writing is recommended. And at the same time, obviously, you will develop a habit of writing. Next, basic newspaper reading. Newspaper reading is a skill during that phase, because first you have to identify relevant news for your examination. There are a lot of news, and all news are not necessarily useful for your examination. So you need to identify those news which are relevant to your examination first. Then you have to obviously segregate those news into different categories. Means some news are just news having immediate impact, some news are rolling in nature, which means these news were appearing during past and they will be appearing during future also, like climate change related issues. Some news are having short-term impact, some news are having long-term impact, some news are having multi-dimensional impact. So all these news should be identified and categorized properly, and you need to learn to connect these news with the basic or static subject also. Second most important goal is understanding the demand of the nature, that examination. Understanding the demand of the examination, how will you get to know what is demanded from you, since you are going to be an IAS officer or IPS officer or simply civil servant. So you must be aware of the evolving trend, the happenings in the society and international affairs, economic affairs, political affairs, etc. Means try to understand the changes or the events happening around you. That is the one clue through which you can obviously prepare yourself to understand the demand of the nature examination. And how that understanding will evolve? Obviously, practice PYQs. Obviously, at initial level, that should be of lower difficulty level. But through that, those questions, PYQs, previous year questions, you will get to know that questions are largely, whether they are static or current related, but largely contemporary in nature. Means even questions are static, let's assume the questions are from art and culture or history and medieval history or ancient history, still the contemporary relevance are there. That's why these questions have been, or that topic has been chosen. Okay. So through the practice you will get to know how questions are selected, how topics are selected for question framing, and how that trend is evolving. And based on that evolving trend, based on that linkages, you will channelize your energy, analyze the evolving trend, and through thought process of examinations. Because during question setting we have huge syllabus in front of us. So there must be something in my mind to ask questions, that for what purpose I am asking this question, what I expect from that examinee to know. And obviously I expect as an examiner, I expect that examinee or that aspirant should be aware of the things happening around us, and should be aware of the government policy, should be aware of the geophysical phenomena, should be aware of the world politics, geopolitics, etc. All these things are obviously mandatory to know. That's why your focus should be toward those issues. The next stage is obviously advanced stage. At this stage, your foundation must be supported by some advanced information. Like you have read NCERT, now it's time to upgrade yourself with some advanced sources like G.C. Leon for geography, D.D. Basu, Lakshmikant for polity. Several standard books are there for economy, environment, IR, etc. So these advanced sources should be referred, and your knowledge should be obviously improved or advanced to make it to the level of UPSC examination. Okay? And at the same time, the reading newspaper must be based on analysis, background, multidimensional approach. Like if you are getting a news, you must try to connect it with other aspects of life. You must try to analyze it in a way how it impacts the society, how it impacts the polity, or how it is connected to different subjects or different affairs. That approach will help you improve your analytical ability. And finalizing optional subject. Parallelly, we need to plan about our optional subject, because that will give you 500 marks and 2 papers are there. So optional should be prioritized at that level. Why at that level? Because till that time you have gone through almost all GS subjects. Now you are in a better position to judge that which subject is closer to your heart, because you need to spend a lot of time for optional subject, and if you need to spend a lot of time for optional subject, you need to be interested in that. Otherwise, it's not possible. So you must be in a position to judge in which subject you are interested more. The first criteria is this. Second, obviously, if you are interested in more, then it would be easier for you to manage. And the next criteria is whether resources are available or not, guides are available or not, etc., mentors are available or not. Based on these criteria, you have to decide optional subject, and after deciding, you have to cover at least 20 to 30% to be well aware of that subject. Now, second important goal of this phase is connecting the dots. Connecting the dots, again, multi-dimensional approach. You have to analyze everything with multi-dimensional approach. If you are reading something, you must think that how it can be related to society, how it can be related to environment, how it can be related to polity, because it's no subject is standing in isolation. All subjects are having implication and impact on other subjects, and vice versa. So you have to establish those or decode those interlinkages. Then only you will be in a better position to present in multi-dimensional way, or you obviously at the same time your perspective will obviously change, your horizon will increase, your world view will or world outlook will evolve, and that will help you in cracking mains examination. And application of knowledge. At this level you have to start practicing previous year questions seriously with some additional questions also. That will brush up your information, knowledge, memory, and at the same time you will get some new type of question. Through that you will get to know about some new concepts, some new dimensions, some new information, some new facts. Okay. Mains answer writing practice with proper structure and processing. At this stage you have to present your ideas, your thought process, your knowledge, information, facts in a better structured way and with better handwriting also. See, answer writing practice is just like mathematics. The more you practice, the better it becomes. Okay, so start answer writing practice at this level seriously, because delaying this process will ultimately hamper your performance in your examination, and obviously you will not be in a position to manage time, manage structure and presentation, all things, if you will start later. So this is the crucial stage at which you are starting your answer writing practice. Okay. The third stage is focus on optional and mains oriented subjects. See, till second phase you were largely focused toward prelims oriented, means both prelims and mains oriented subject, as well as during second phase you started reading optional. But third stage is dedicated for mains. Mains means you have to cover most of the optional parts. 70 to 80% of your optional should be finished by this 12 month, or at the same time you have to attempt PYQs of your optional section, and answer writing practice must be continued for optional as well as GS. Main subjects which were not there in prelims, like ethics, integrity and aptitude, governance and social justice, social issues, Indian societies, international relations, essay, disaster management, all these things were not there for prelims and these were not covered during second phase. So this is the time, high time actually, to cover, at least be ready with the notes, standard note, be ready with the clarity of concepts. Obviously these issues, several subjects are having current dimensions, so that will be done after prelims, but be ready with the basic concepts and basic notes. And third most important part is again practice for these things, practice for optional, practice for MCQs, practice for some answer writings. Keep practicing, that should not be dropped, because if you will stop writing, you will stop practicing MCQs, that habit will go away and again restarting will be a problem. So that should be continued. And the next phase is fourth phase, and this is dedicated for prelims. This is actually take off stage for prelims. And what will you do at that stage? Quick revision of NCERTs, class notes or current affairs or any standard books. You have to revise it quickly. Then you have to revise previous MCQs which you have attempted or previous test which you have given, because several questions were there which were completely new and you got to know some new concept through that. So you need to revise those things. Current affairs revision is mandatory, at least 1.5 years. Second, MCQ practice, sectional test must be done to obviously strengthen your weaker part. Next, full length mock test to simulate yourself with the UPSC demand, UPSC exam pattern, and at the same time CSAT practice. CSAT is the most ignored but very crucial part. Without that you cannot qualify. So your focus must be toward this also. And see, the questions appearing in prelims examinations are roughly 35 to 40% questions are direct from your knowledge if you have read well then, but 40% questions are indirect, means linked to your understanding, your knowledge directly or indirectly, but not direct questions. They are application based, they are dimension based, etc. Okay, analysis based, etc. So in that case you have to obviously recall your knowledge and then apply those knowledge for taking decision that for which option you are going. And decision making is crucial here. Decision making is crucial because during your job also or service also you will be put to take decision, you will be forced to take call, because you will be in a responsible position, at a responsible position, so you need to take call, and that practice, that habit will be developing through that practice. 40% of your questions are going to be indirect, and there you need to take call, you need to take decision. Sometimes you may go right, sometimes you may go wrong, but try to be right maximum times. Then only you will get into that, you will qualify for the next level. And that decision should not be blind again. Decision should be based on your existing knowledge, information, analysis of those situations, information, analysis of the questions, analysis of the other options, that elimination is possible or not, any combination is possible or not, etc. So based on those analysis only you can take decision. Blind decision is not favored. And the final stage, that is fifth stage, is mains exclusive, that is after prelims. What will you do after prelims? You have read lot of subject during your prelims, so just revise and start practicing. Start practicing means start writing answer for those GS subject which you have read during your prelims preparation. Okay. Then essay writing must be started at this stage, at least weekly 2 essay or weekly 1 essay initially, and later on weekly 2 essays. You must join test series, any test series, standard test series, or first that test series should be sectional, and finally full length mock test. Sectional for strengthening your weaker part, and full length mock test for simulating your preparation with UPSC examination. Test for optional should also be given, and through that process you will be ready. At this stage only you will be requiring value addition in your information, like some new reports are coming, some new recommendations of some committees are coming, some indexes are coming, some current events are happening. So add value to your existing knowledge and try to present those information, those recommendations, those reports in your answer. Through that process you can maximize your marks. Okay, but this whole process is not very easy, and everybody cannot manage to complete this whole process, but you can if you have strong commitment for your goal, if you are consistent, and if you have confidence in your ability, then only you can manage this throughout your journey, preparation journey, and you can crack this examination. Okay, and you can achieve what you want to achieve. For more elaborate planning or discussion, or you can say for micro planning of each subject or each stage, you can contact me directly. You can come to my center, and there we will discuss and make a plan according to your timetable, according to your obviously other engagement. If you are college going student, you are working professional, then you must have some other priorities in your life also. So we will try to manage those priorities with this preparation, and by doing that I will assure you that this process is not that difficult which cannot be managed. It can be managed, and it can be managed in a better way if you plan to do that. Better planning is crucial, better strategy is crucial for cracking this examination. Extraordinary mind is not enough. Even if you have simple mind, simple intellect, just by becoming disciplined, dedicated and confident, well planned, well organized, you can achieve your target. I hope you have seen class 12 failed movie. The person or the protagonist in that movie was not very brilliant. The basic education was not good in his case, but he did that because of his dedication, discipline and determination. So I welcome you all to this journey and wish you all the best. Thank you very much.